This story has three updates. I'm a 34-year-old construction project manager for a major development firm in Dallas, supervising high-rise residential projects. After what I've discovered over the past month, I'm still trying to make sense of how my entire life imploded. The truth came out in the most random way possible. While replacing some faulty wiring in our home security system, I handle all our home maintenance. I noticed an unusual pattern. The front door camera kept activating between 1 and 3 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I was always at construction sites. Strange, but not alarming at first. Out of curiosity, I checked the footage from the past few weeks. There was my wife coming home during her supposed lunch meetings, but not alone. Different men, different days. The footage made me physically ill. I wanted to believe there was some explanation. Maybe they were clients viewing our house renovation for design ideas. She works as a commercial real estate broker, so it seemed plausible. But deep down, I knew. Instead of confronting her immediately, I started paying attention. The signs were everywhere. Password changes on her phone, new lingerie receipts in her email. Then came the smoking gun. She asked me to help recover some files from her old laptop that had crashed. While transferring data, I found an entire folder of deleted emails automatically backed up to her hard drive. Hundreds of messages with 3 different men spanning 8 months. The emails were explicit, detailed accounts of hotel meetups, private villa rentals, weekend business trips that were romantic getaways. Some of these men were married too. They'd coordinate their stories, alibis, even share tips about ways to hide their indiscretions. What hit hardest were the emails where they joked about me, about how oblivious I was, how she'd manipulate me by acting extra affectionate after her encounters. They had pet names for each other, inside jokes about their deception. I spent 2 weeks gathering evidence meticulously, saved everything, photographed credit card statements showing hotel charges, retrieved security footage from our home system, documented everything with timestamps. During these 2 weeks, she had no idea I knew. She'd kiss me goodbye each morning, send sweet texts during the day, all while continuing her affairs. The level of deception was staggering. She even initiated sex more frequently, probably out of guilt. I contacted the city's top divorce attorney and laid out everything. He advised me to secure my finances first. I opened new accounts, transferred my portion of our joint savings, documented every penny, and prepared for the confrontation. The day I confronted her, I had already moved essential documents and irreplaceable family heirlooms to a secure location. My lawyer advised recording the conversation in our single consent state. She came home to find me calmly sitting at our dining room table, looking at copies of emails and hotel receipts laid out. She calmly asked what I was doing. I told her, I am looking at everything you did while I was gone and what you are doing now. You should have seen her face. She tried to deny everything, even as far as saying that wasn't her on the security camera. I played the security footage over and over again. She switched to minimizing. It was just physical. I was feeling lonely. It didn't mean anything. Then came the tearful confession when she realized denial wouldn't work. Claims of sex addiction, childhood trauma, needing validation. She promised therapy, transparency, anything to save our marriage. I simply gave her a sealed envelope with the divorce papers in it. This triggered an explosion of rage. How dare I throw away 7 years without trying to fix things? What about marriage counseling? She called me vindictive, heartless, cruel. I maintained complete calm, which infuriated her more. When she realized I was recording, she stormed out to her sister's house. Within hours, my phone exploded with messages from friends and family. I'm writing this from an extended stay hotel, recommended by my lawyer until temporary arrangements can be made through the courts. She's alternating between desperate pleas for reconciliation and vicious threats about ruining me financially. I've already informed my company's HR department and my project teams about the impending divorce and possible disruptions. They've been surprisingly supportive, offering flexible scheduling for court dates and lawyer meetings. Tomorrow, we begin the formal divorce process. I know it's going to get uglier before it gets better. Update 1. 1 month into divorce proceedings. The past month has been absolute chaos. After moving into my extended stay hotel, I discovered my wife had been busy creating her own narrative. According to her, I was controlling, emotionally unavailable, and drove her to seek comfort elsewhere. Several mutual friends initially believed her version. Then the evidence started emerging. One of her affair partner's wives reached out after confronting her husband. She shared text messages where my wife actively pursued her husband, planned elaborate cover stories, and even joked about their respective spouses' ignorance. This wife turned over everything to her divorce attorney, who's now collaborating with mine. The most shocking revelation came from my wife's former assistant at the real estate firm. She contacted me through LinkedIn, revealing this behavior predated even our marriage. Apparently, my wife had similar arrangements with clients going back years. The assistant had kept documentation as insurance after my wife tried throwing her under the bus for a failed property deal. My lawyer is building an airtight case. We've uncovered business accounts I never knew about, hidden credit cards, and even a secret apartment lease from 2 years ago. The level of premeditation is staggering. Her behavior has become increasingly erratic. Last week, she showed up at my current construction site, hysterical and demanding to talk. My foreman had to call the police to have her removed. She then proceeded to email my entire project team with wild accusations about embezzlement and fraud. Her family's stance has shifted dramatically since I shared the security footage and email evidence. Her own sister broke down crying, admitting she'd suspected something for years but didn't want to get involved. Their parents have stopped pressuring me for reconciliation and are now focused on getting her professional help. The divorce proceedings are moving forward, though she's trying every delay tactic possible. She initially refused to move out of our house, so we're now in court-mandated mediation about property division. My lawyer says her attempts to claim part of my family inheritance won't hold up, but she's determined to drag this out. I've started therapy twice weekly. My therapist specializes in betrayal trauma and has helped me understand this isn't about any failing on my part. It's about her choices and deceptions. The most difficult part has been maintaining professionalism at work while everything crumbles personally. I'm overseeing 3 major construction projects, and they can't stop because of my personal crisis. My crew has been incredible, covering for me during legal appointments and offering support without prying. Tomorrow, we have our first major court hearing. She's contesting the prenup, claiming she signed under duress. My lawyer isn't concerned. We have video of the original prenup signing with both sets of lawyers present. This weekend, I'm finally moving into my own apartment. A fresh start. Update 2, 3 months after discovery. Everything unraveled faster than anyone expected. After the initial court hearing, where the judge upheld our prenup, my wife's carefully crafted image completely shattered. 2 more affair partners have surfaced, both married executives from her largest commercial real estate clients. One's wife hired a private investigator months ago, gathering surveillance photos and hotel receipts dating back 18 months. She shared everything with my attorney. My wife's real estate firm quietly asked for her resignation last week. Turns out she'd been offering special incentives to close deals, putting the company at risk for lawsuits. They're conducting an internal audit of all her transactions from the past 5 years. The secret apartment we discovered, it wasn't just for affairs. She'd been hiding money there, literal cash, in a safe, jewelry I'd never seen, and documents showing offshore accounts. She's spiraling. After losing her job, she showed up at my parents' house at midnight, demanding they talk sense into me. When they refused to let her in, she sat in their driveway until the police removed her. They've filed for a restraining order. Her latest stunt? Creating fake social media profiles to harass my sister and female colleagues, accusing them of sleeping with me. HR documented everything for our legal team. The judge was not impressed by this behavior during our last hearing. The house is finally on the market. During the realtor's initial walkthrough, we discovered she'd punched holes in several walls and poured paint over the hardwood floors in the master bedroom. Insurance is covering the damage, and her outburst only strengthened my case. Her own attorney withdrew from the case after she ignored multiple legal directives. Her new lawyer, the fourth one in 3 months, seems overwhelmed by her demands to destroy me at all costs. More disturbing details keep emerging. A waiter from her favorite business lunch restaurant recognized me from photos on her phone. Apparently, she'd show pictures of us to her affair partners, mocking our recent vacation photos while sitting in their laps. The wives of her affair partners have formed an unlikely support network. I've moved into my new apartment across town. It's smaller but feels more like home than our house ever did. Adopted a retired military dog who needed a home. He's better security than any alarm system. My construction company offered me a promotion to regional manager, overseeing projects in 3 states. The timing is perfect for a fresh start, though my wife's lawyer is already arguing. This proves I planned the divorce to advance my career. Final update. 6 months later. Closure at last. The divorce was finalized yesterday. The judge's ruling was devastating for my ex-wife, largely due to her own actions throughout the proceedings. Her financial deceptions backfired spectacularly. The forensic accountant uncovered over $300,000 in hidden assets, all of which she must now forfeit. The judge cited willful financial misconduct and awarded me 70% of our marital assets. Her professional life is in shambles. The Real Estate Licensing Board suspended her license pending investigation. 3 clients have filed lawsuits alleging she manipulated property valuations in exchange for personal favors. The secret apartment yielded more surprises during final cleanup. Hidden in the air vents, we found USBs containing videos she'd recorded of some encounters without consent. My lawyer immediately turned these over to the authorities. Several of her affair partners are now facing their own legal troubles. Last month, she attempted one final power play. She sent a massive email blast to my entire extended family, her family, all our friends, and my business contacts. It contained fabricated stories about abuse, complete with poorly photoshopped evidence. Within hours, real evidence of her deceptions was circulating in response. She succeeded only in alienating her remaining supporters. Her parents finally cut contact with her after learning she'd stolen her mother's heirloom jewelry to fund her secret lifestyle. They've since been incredibly supportive of me, even testifying about her pattern of manipulation when she contested the prenup. I'm thriving in my new role as regional manager. Overseeing construction projects across 3 states keeps me busy and focused. My crew surprised me with the site barbecue to celebrate the divorce finalization. These guys have become like family. The retired military dog Butch has been a lifesaver. His training kicked in last month when my ex tried breaking into my apartment at 3 a.m. She fled before the police arrived, but the security footage was enough for a permanent restraining order. My therapist says my recovery is progressing well. The nightmares about betrayal have mostly stopped. I have started socializing again, though dating still feels distant. The gym has become my sanctuary. I'm in the best shape of my life. Yesterday, I received an unexpected email from her first affair partner's wife. Their divorce led him to rehab, where he's apparently documenting all their deceptions as part of his recovery. The scope of my ex's manipulations is still shocking. She had a literal playbook for seducing married executives. The most peaceful part? I feel nothing now when I hear about her latest dramatic episodes. She recently got escorted from a charity event for confronting one affair partner's wife. A year ago, this would have devastated me. Now, it's just sad news about a stranger. Moving forward, I'm focusing on the regional expansion project. We're breaking ground on a major development next month. I've bought land in Colorado for my own house. Building it myself will be therapeutic. To everyone who supported me through this nightmare, thank you. To those just discovering their partner's betrayal, it gets better. Focus on yourself. Document everything. Trust your lawyers. The truth eventually surfaces. This will be my final update. Time to close this chapter completely.